No, I want to ask you about your education in Germany. When you studied what you studied, I want to ask you: did you start off from? Was it a vector? Like you knew where you were going to go and you went in that direction? It's your
I
story.
went to an architecture school in Pune, right? And I think like it's the curriculum is similar. It's by the Pune University, right? Um, when I graduated and I also worked a little bit, what I realized is it just didn't feel creative enough. Like the whole reason I went to architecture school was because I was interested in different aspects of design, different aspects of how you can visualize space, all of that.
And you're doing that now.
Yeah, when I graduated, I had no way of I knew this world existed, right?
Yeah.
Like there are lots of architects abroad who are doing this. Zaha Hadid, for example,
Yeah.
everyone knows
Yeah.
her, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't learn what needed to be learned
Yeah.
for me
Yeah.
to become someone like Zaha Hadid. And I was like, okay, maybe some work X, does that. But then that didn't happen either. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm designing the toilets or drawing the toilets
Yeah.
that are going to be in some big fancy building,
Yeah.
right? So imagine like being a creative person and you're stuck doing this. So
Yeah.
kind of had like a full emotional
Yeah.
drop down. And then
Yeah.
there were people in my office then who had done masters.
Yeah.
And I would find it so weird that they've done masters
Yeah.
and they're doing a job the same place where I'm doing a job, right? And I was just be like,
Some things
yeah, there's something wrong with this world, but like I got to figure it out.
with this real world.
And I decided to go to Europe because as a kid I've been to Europe and I enjoyed it. I liked the culture there, and I was like, I would prefer that than going more to the West, and just have more of an opportunity for myself. So I started looking at schools, and I just had one criteria when I was applying. I should not understand the course.
You should not understand
I
the
should
course.
not understand the course because then that just proves that I'm going to study something I have no clue about.
Yeah. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, because there were lots of courses and lots of really good schools where I went online, I saw their website, and it just seemed that their coursework was an extended version of what I had studied.
Yeah.
Or a more in-depth version. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is something I don't want to do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against architecture, but I don't want to kind of go more in deep of what I already know. So that was my requirement. And obviously I knew some schools were good, some were not good. So that's how I got into
You're always interested in designing spaces. I'm
Yeah.
making spaces.
Yeah, I'm very much interested in the idea of space.
Can you tell me what is, in terms of technology, what's the top 3 softwares that kids would know what they should have in their laptop?
There
like
is
software.
no answer because it keeps updating. It keeps changing.
It's super fast.
Yeah, it keeps changing, and I think
How do
a
you
lot
keep
of
you have to like learn all the time then.
Yeah, I mean, I also have a team now,
Yeah.
right? So we also update. There's a lot of training involved. There's a lot of like, we do projects which are so new, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know anybody else who's doing a lot into VR and wellness, or even if they're doing it in a different way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we get stuck a lot of times. You have to like the hard way, go online, look for it. Then you
Sure.
realize that the application has its limitations.
Yeah.
You have to figure out your own way. You have to figure out another way to get to it, right?
Sure. And
Even with the
you said earlier you don't use any Mac products. You use PC because of
no, it's not true. I think
this
so.
software. The software.
Software, there are some which
Aren't
are.
you stuck between these wars of PC
I
or
have
computation
both.
war?
I have both. I have a Mac also, and I have a Windows also.
Some software works on this. And
Like for this, the application that I've put on a phone, I have to make for iOS and for Android, right?
Yeah.
And for iOS, you need a Mac to create for a Mac.
Sure.
For the iOS, you need an
But
Android.
the learning curve must be amazing for someone as young as you to constantly try to make a buck,
Yeah,
also learn,
it
also
takes
run a
a-
company as like IOVR.
Yeah.
It's pretty like, and
Yeah.
also deliver on your projects. I mean,
Yeah.
somewhere, how do you? What's your global vision? Like, what's your
mean-
longer ambition as an artist? Are you comfortable? Do you connect with being called an artist, or are you a businesswoman? Are you in the business of art?
I have a lot of roles that I flip into.
Yeah.
artist, architect, curator, entrepreneur,
Sure.
all of these.
Yeah.
I think right now, because obviously your goals also keep changing
Sure.
in life, is I want to work on growing IOVR, want to do a lot more interesting projects, not just India, but also globally, even though we are based in India.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And got a very nice team. Everyone's got their speciality, right? So then that way everyone takes care of being updated with that part of their technology.
Yeah.
Which allows us to be kind of updated with the current trends, technologies, all of that.
Yes.
As the director, creative director and founder, I
Yeah.
have to obviously keep thinking about what more can we do. Not just...
Can you tell me what more can you do?
Like, for example, this whole VR and wellness thing is something that I'm looking into because...
Wellness is the theme for 2030. Global theme.
No, I think
Everyone's
I
going-
think it just has become a necessity after the pandemic, right? Like,
I've seen some psychotic Japanese VR based games, and I have one friend showed me some VR porn, and I've seen some games, using the Oculus
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I mean, I get a little claustrophobic, and I get a little
Yeah.
taken aback by it's literally like overwhelmingly a different world. It's like literally like it
yeah,
completely occupies your ears, eyes, and then
Yeah.
when you open your eyes on this side, my wife got me poha. Like I'm suddenly in Maharashtra again, having hot poha in my hand, and I just got off some not porn, but I got off this one game.
Yeah.
And I was like, suddenly the 2 seconds I felt like someone just sucked me out, like the movie Avatar.
yeah.
Like it's like you're out of
It's
a
like
world.
teleporting, right?
Yeah, but I feel that transition should be smoother.
Why?
to go from
I think you'll just get used to it after a point.
that sudden burst
Like,
of
Maybe people who went online and spent so much time on their phone
yeah. It's the
didn't-
same thing, right?
yeah. Like
They
they
watch the
they
phone
felt
and-
like,
yeah.
oh, I'm just feeling like I've spent
Consume.
too much time now.
But the mind is allowed to do one thing at a time. I mean, if you're a guy, if you're a girl, I mean, but the mind can focus on only X amount of parameters.
Yeah,
And so if you do an AR VR, like for example, in your work, the way to access your work is through a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Then to see it best, you've got to zoom out and you've got to move in the physical world behind. But there are other games. Is that also what you do, or is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is your forte?
no. Again, these are just tools.
I remember I jumped off the building because of that game that you introduced in Tifa.
Yeah,
That thing, and I flipped out. For me, that was real. Like they were like jump, and I was like no, and because there was that
Correct.
the diving board, and you had to fall from the
Correct.
15th floor. I couldn't do that.
so that is basically being immersed.
That's immersive.
Immersiveness, and that is what I mean. Like with these tools, I'm enabled to make immersive experiences,
Sure.
right?
And-
And I like to play. I like to play with the space. Let me see what else I can make.
Who's your client? So for the younger people watching, or for the people trying to change their jobs, or get into your
Yeah.
world, who's your client?
So if you're doing AR and VR,
Like, who's your template? Like what kind of person comes to you?
we've done everything. We've done art
Show off,
organizations.
show off. You've done
We've
it.
done wellness. What I'm saying is your client could be anybody.
Yeah.
It's what you're using the tool for.
But are
right?
you expensive? I mean, not you. I mean, like the medium
Yeah,
is
of course.
new.
This whole technology is expensive.
Yeah.
Also, it's also expensive because a lot of people don't have access to it. Right? How many people own VR headsets?
Yeah. No, but the mobile phone, like Pokemon Go, for example.
Yeah.
Every time I'm show your work to the people who come,
Yeah.
the investors who come to buy the works, and they want to see your work. The reference keeps coming up is Pokemon Go,
Yeah.
because that was active. It was made to
Yeah.
act, it
The
was-
reason that's a very strong reference is because it reached a larger audience.
Yes. But then it just nobody started using it anymore. Other than Google Maps has that fox running.
Yeah,
in the-
so that's like any advertising or marketing stunt. It goes high
Peaks.
and then it drops, right? What I'm trying to say is you need to have a larger audience willing to play with this or willing
Sure.
to use these technologies,
Yes.
right? Which is where I think we are kind of slowed up right now because people don't know about it. Firstly, people don't know so much about these technologies. It's so new that people are still learning how to use it for
That's true.
their
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And then you have to have the audience to kind of enable it.
Yeah.
Right? which is why your industries are very varied. They obviously work already in like robotics, automobiles, all of these. These are industries where it's already established.
Yeah.
But I'm a very strong believer that these can go into all industries, and also creative industries, which is what I try and do at IOVR,
Yeah.
where our work is at the intersection of art, architecture, and technology, right? And what can we do with using all of these three to create new works, which comes back to the creator economy.
That's amazing.